What's going on, guys? This is the Experienced Optimist. And today I want to talk about why women respect the man who got away more than you. I've said it a million times that women love to reminisce and pine over relationships of the past. In this regard, women don't like to live in a sort of fantasy land in which they can believe any amount of esoteric theory. This is why women are drawn to things like fortune telling, mediums, their belief in having some sort of sixth sense, as well as other falsehoods. Women like to believe the what ifs of a past relationship instead of focusing on what she must do to keep the relationship she was currently in together. It is because of this flaw in feminine thinking that the woman will always respect the man that got away more than you. Therefore, it is of my opinion that it's better for every man to be the man that got away rather than the long-term sucker that is stuck in a relationship with any woman. I remember a while ago, I was reading this article about famous womanizers. And one of the things I noticed about these womanizers, I wish I could find the article again. One of the things I noticed about these womanizers was that they would meet a woman, they would seduce the woman, they would make love to the woman, then they would find another woman and do the same thing all over. They never had any long-term relationships with women. It was always short-term. Now, at the time of reading this, I was thinking, I was real blue pill, and I was like, man, I want to be able to seduce a woman long-term. Now, we all know now, if you're red pill aware, you can never seduce a woman long-term. No matter how much game you have, a woman will always be looking to, get with somebody else. That's just the way women are. They'll always leave in the end. So the answer is, seducing a woman long-term is not what you want to be. You want to be the guy who gets in and gets out. So I found this article on Match.com which perfectly illustrates my point. It's from a female point of view, and it talks about how this woman would always fantasize about her old boyfriend, and ultimately she would always respect him more than the person, and she would sabotage the relationship she was currently in, I believe, by thinking about this old boyfriend that got away. So it starts out, when Lisa and Robert were high school sweethearts, they won the title Ken and Barbie of Homecoming, but they lost touch after graduation. On the rebound at 19, Lisa married Cal, although she always held Robert close to her heart. She spent the next 25 difficult years withstanding her husband's physical abuse, cheating, and compulsive gambling until she drummed up the courage to leave, blaming it on the man, of course. Now she was 50 pounds heavier, now which we all know that women always gain weight, and they never try to lose it. Well, a lot of women do anyways. She had 2 kids and was in a heap of debt. Lisa's life was in shambles, but her fantasies always gave her an escape, back to Robert. He now lived in Vancouver, which was a far cry from Lisa's sunny Florida home. She found his number and called the now bald and paunchy Robert, who was himself in the midst of an ugly divorce. Thrilled to drop into a dreamy reverie with his former high school sweetheart, he asked if she still looked like Barbie. Lisa said, of course. Lisa said, of course. Lie. She questioned whether Robert still looked like Ken. He said, of course. Lie. With no intention of ever seeing each other, neither thought there was any harm in fudging the facts about their current looks. But they craved the conversational rush, ecstatic that each could still be desired by the other. Less than 2 months later, in real life, Lisa met Tom, an intelligent college professor with plenty of money saved up. So basically, she was using this guy for his money. The couple had a garish wedding, which was intended to prove to Lisa's ex that she could find love again. They moved into an expensive home, and Lisa felt financially secure. You see where we're going with this? But she didn't know Tom all that well before they tied the knot. And the man she married turned out to be stingy and nasty once they were living together as husband and wife. The couple's constant fighting caused the demise of their union after 10 almost violent years together. Once again, implicitly putting the blame on the man. How did Lisa cope? By immediately dialing Robert's digits, of course. Picking up where they left off with their previous round of flirting, they continued their journey in the land of what if. What if they had remained together? They giggled. What if 35 years had never passed? The question the pair should have been asking, what if they were to meet up now? Of course, they avoided that question because Fantasy Boulevard provides more exciting scenery than the corner of reality and truth streets. And this is what women love. Women love to live in that type of fantasy, overlooking the men that they have in their life. Never long without a man, almost single Lisa was, in the meanwhile, very busy. At the same time she was flirting with Robert and divorcing Tom, she met Jason, a good-natured widower. As soon as this successful attorney saw her, he wanted to make her his wife. She agreed and lived with Jason until he died. The couple had great rapport and lots of laughter, but no passion. However, for Lisa, her need for security trumped her desire for romance. Except when it came to Robert, that is, the version of Robert that she remembered. Had she been honest with herself, she would have realized that she was able to tolerate her dead-end marriages only because of the escape provided by her fantasies of the one who got away. I'm going to say that again. Had she been honest with herself, she would have realized that she was able to tolerate her dead-end marriages only because of the escape provided by her fantasies of the one they got away. This wasn't fair for the men she married, nor was it fair to herself. As my Gilda Graham warns, life dents us. Some people work to fix dents, and others work to cover them up. That's pretty much women. During these years, Lisa had continually filled her personal dents with men. That's because women never work on themselves. Despite her 3 marriages, she never considered that these artificial fillers hadn't served her well. If anything, they prevented her from finding true love. Being alone now could finally bring Lisa the gift of self-assessment and growth. However, Lisa instead chose to reapply her favorite bandage to her wounds, another partner. And so was it the one that got away 35 years earlier became Lisa's new target. So anyway, the article goes on to talk about how Lisa and Robert finally got together. And of course, you know what happens. Once they saw each other, the fantasy didn't live up to the reality and it didn't work out. But there's one part in the article that I really like. And it pretty much talks about what women do wrong. All right? Now, the title of this particular paragraph, it says, "Resist the strong lure to live in your fantasies. The fantasy of the one that got away is best left in dreams, but it may beckon you anyway because it has some useful functions." And this is what women do. It can temporarily postpone digging into your soul when you are not yet ready to confront your own demons. And we all know women hate to confront their demons. Number 2, it can empower your sense of self-doubt and insecurity. Sorry about that. It can overpower your sense of self-doubt and insecurity. And we all know that women are always doubting themselves. They're very insecure. So when they have something like this, a fantasy of an old boyfriend, an old husband that got away, that overpowers that. And it makes her feel good about herself. Number 3, it can stimulate creative visual imagery that motivates you. Now, women always love this. Is why they read those romance novels, because it stimulates something inside of them, something that they crave, something that they want, to be seduced, to be wanted by some super buff, ripped dude that's going to come and save her from her soulless, shitty life. Now, number 4, it can allow you to safely experiment with any solution to any problem, leading to the outcome you want. And this is important because, as we all know, women oftentimes don't want to live in reality. They want what they want. They don't want to have to deal with something that's really troubling them. So the article goes on and says, these 4 benefits are powerful. However, the more they entice you, the longer it will take you to discover grounded love. The downside to the lure of chasing the unavailable is that you'll waste your years on make-believe. Now, as we all know, that women love to chase things that are unavailable. Sure, it's fine to savor occasional fantasies, but recognize that these mind games will only provide a temporary fix. As soon as you snap back to the here and now, love that lasts will triumph. I don't believe that, but whatever. So that's the thing you have to remember here. And the thing is with women is that they always, to me, I think they love those occasional fantasies that the article points out. They don't want to deal in reality, and that they'll always compare you to the fantasy of the guy that got away. And since the guy that got away is basically perfection, you'll never measure up to that type of stuff. You'll never measure up to the guy that got away. But anyways, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, support other MGTOW channels, and I will talk to you later.